Hey there, it's Ethan Morgan, and I've got one wild story for you today. It starts with a group of HOA officials trying to mess with me, and it ends with me owning a lake, putting up signs, and banning the entire neighborhood from fishing. Yeah, you heard that right. But trust me, this isn't just about revenge, it's about standing up for what's right. Grab a seat, because this is the kind of story you won't believe until you hear it. How it all began. A couple of years ago, I moved to a 30-acre ranch outside Austin, Texas, to live a peaceful, self-sufficient life. The property wasn't much when I bought it: overgrown fields, an old farmhouse, and a dilapidated barn. But it had serious potential. I was a DIY kind of guy, always tinkering with electronics and creating innovative solutions, so I dove headfirst into fixing things. I installed automated irrigation systems, built a solar-powered chicken coop, and even rigged up a system to alert me when my goats were about to give birth. My farm quickly became a self-sustaining sanctuary. The road that led to my property was a legal easement, something I'd inherited from the previous owner. It had been there for over 50 years, and I had the legal right to use it to access my ranch. But that all changed when I got a letter from the Golden Meadows Homeowners Association, HOA, a group of wealthy suburbanites who lived near my property. The HOA's first mistake: trying to block my road. The letter I received was vague, something about a road security enhancement and illegal road usage. I didn't know what they were talking about, so I decided to attend the HOA meeting to clear things up. Little did I know, this meeting would mark the beginning of a 6-month battle with a group of arrogant HOA officials who thought they could dictate how I lived my life. At the meeting, Maxwell Bennett, the newly appointed HOA president, made it clear that their plans to develop a luxury neighborhood were going to be the future of the area. The problem? My ranch. He casually referred to my property as an eyesore and suggested a gate and fence to block off my access road. I immediately pointed out that I had a legal easement to use the road and that they couldn't just block it off. But Maxwell, in his typical condescending way, dismissed me and offered me an access card for a fee. The HOA's mistake gets bigger. The next morning, I woke up to construction crews building a massive fence and electronic gate across my road. They were blocking my only access route, and they didn't care about the legal rights I had. Furious, I rushed to the county office to grab a certified copy of my easement rights, and then I consulted with a real estate attorney named Olivia. She confirmed that the HOA was in the wrong, but fighting it would take time, and they knew that. They were hoping I'd give up, but they didn't know who they were dealing with. If they wanted a fight, they were about to get one. The ultimate payback: the toll booth. As I watched them build the fence, I noticed something suspicious. The gate they were constructing was actually partially on my property. A small section of the gate and a post were encroaching on my land. This was the leverage I needed. I couldn't let them get away with this. I teamed up with my friend Ryan, a contractor, and we came up with a plan. I decided to build my own toll booth right next to the HOA's gate. Since part of their gate was on my property, I had every right to charge people for crossing my land. So we worked all weekend constructing a professional-looking toll booth with an automated barrier arm, cameras, and a mobile payment system. By Sunday morning, it was ready to go. We built it all legally, and the best part? It was on my property. I slapped up signs that read "Private Road, $20 toll," and went to work. By the time the HOA residents started coming back from their weekend trips, they were faced with a surprise: a toll booth. People were confused, some were angry, but most just paid. They needed to get home. The HOA's response: chaos ensues. It didn't take long for Maxwell to find out. He showed up furious, demanding that I take down the booth, but I calmly explained that I was just exercising the same rights the HOA had claimed for themselves. I wasn't blocking a public road. This was my land, and I was charging a fee for crossing it, just like they were charging me. Maxwell called the police, but Officer Ramirez, who had previously dealt with some of my other issues, confirmed that everything was legal. The toll booths stayed open, and the residents of Golden Meadows were starting to question their HOA president's decisions. After all, they were paying twice, once to the HOA and once to me. The war escalates. But Maxwell wasn't done. He called in an expensive lawyer, and I got threats in the mail demanding I shut down my toll booth. They even tried to sabotage my operation, cutting the power to my booth, sending inspectors to find violations, but everything was above board. My booth kept running, and the money kept flowing in. The neighborhood began to turn on Maxwell. The media caught wind of the story, and soon my toll booth was a viral sensation. People from all over the country were cheering me on. Maxwell's image was tarnished, and he couldn't escape the fallout. People in the neighborhood started asking, "Why are we paying twice?" Eventually, one of the residents, Nancy Fletcher, took a stand at an HOA meeting asking why they didn't just remove the gate and end the madness. Maxwell's grip on the community was slipping. The final showdown: vandalism and legal victory. In a desperate move, Maxwell and his lawyer tried to sabotage my toll booth at 2 a.m. one night, spray painting over the cameras and attempting to disable the barrier arm. But the damage was done, and the footage of the vandalism went straight to the police. As the story spread, Maxwell's efforts to intimidate me backfired. The community was rallying behind me, and Maxwell had nowhere to turn. His plans were unraveling, and my toll booth was still standing strong. Conclusion: victory is sweet. In the end, I didn't just protect my rights. I turned the tables on an overreaching HOA and made a lot of money in the process. The HOA president now has to explain to his superiors why their budget suddenly vanished. So if you've ever dealt with an HOA that tried to push you around, drop a comment below. I guarantee your stories can't be crazier than mine. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Who knows, maybe your next battle with an HOA could end like mine.